Hello, friends. Welcome to Tanked Up, the podcast about beers and video games. I'm Ben, returned this week, here with two more returners. Lucy, hey.
Hello, I'm a returnee.
And Aadil.
Hello.
Thank you both for holding down the fort in my stead. As viewers will see, if you're a listener, you can go to YouTube and go to, Out of Lives Network to have a look when we post this up and see. I'm in my kitchen. I'm having my office redone, and my daughter hasn't started school yet, so it's easier for me to be down here to oversee childcare, essentially. But I'm going to be here for the next little bit of time. You can see some lovely plants, a little toy kitchen, a bin, stuff that's in a kitchen, I guess.
Oh, set dressing, yeah.
Yes.
Lovely.
Obviously, we're here with Aadil and Lucy in their usual environments. I can see lots of beautiful bottles of beer, Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
I can also actually see half a beer as well.
Yeah,
Started early.
I think it's from Kinnegar? Yeah, it's from Kinnegar. I
Nice.
think it's called Craggy IPA. Very
Craggy.
nice. Craggy.
Interesting.
Ooh. Nice. So, we'll start with you, Aadil, as you're finishing that one off, Lucy. We'll let you crack into your first beer this week.
Cool. I'm having a beer from our friends at Brooklyn.
Oh.
It is the Bel Air Sour. 4.5% Brooklyn, so it doesn't say anything more than that, except, of course, that in Quebec, the refund is 10 cents. While the rest of Canada, it is 5 cents.
Oh.
Given that it's in New York, I'm assuming they need to do the Quebec thing, so they don't have to make separate Canadian labels.
Probably.
And, Quebec and Ontario have proximity to New York State. Yes, so it's the Bel Air Sour, 4.5% sour from Brooklyn. It's a dry hopped sour ale.
Lovely. Is this, did you pick this up separately, or does this come as part of the Beer 52 box?
It was this month in Beer 52 is New York, I think.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, New York.
Yeah.
Random
It's a time of the month / year where Beer 52 is sort of the beers I have for the next little while until some money transfers come through.
Yes, I got that box today, and I can say, having had a quick look at some of them, the colouring on that sour is very nice. The label-wise, not the beer itself.
Yeah.
It's
It's like this lovely. So I don't know if you could see it, but it's this lovely like pastel pink and blue, sort of very light blue, turquoisey thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Versus the really strong colors they usually do. Yeah, it's good. So I'll pour that. Why don't Ben? Why don't you tell us what you've got?
Yeah, so I've got a bit of a mixed week, probably this week and probably next week as well, for two reasons. Aadil, you and I went with some friends to Left-Handed Giant's Brew Pub.
We did.
At the weekend, and I picked up a couple of cans from them to have on the podcast. So I'm going to have one of those tonight, but that's going to come second. The first beer is a collaboration. It's a Siren brewed beer, but with North Brewing Company and Salt. And this is 1 through 3, 6% IPA. It's got a little bit of flavour text on the back. A collaboration between Siren Craft Brew, Salt Beer Factory, and North Brewing. This beer takes the best of each of our flagship IPAs to create something unique, yet with elements of each recipe taking turns at the forefront. Okay. Interesting. Expect punchy aromas of mango, passion fruit, and peach with citrus and pine notes, leading to a tropical finish. Doesn't give me the hops or any information other than kind of like the allergens and stuff. But I picked this one up from Morrison's, from the supermarket, and I thought I'd drink it tonight because there's been, if any of you are part of kind of like the Facebook groups for craft beer or like supermarket craft beers, there's been a little bit of a war going on between Morrison's and Tesco's. Morrison's have been dropping some big beers which all released, I think, on Monday. I managed to get this and a couple of other beers, a few newer beers from Northern Monk, a very, very lovely stout that I had last night, which was a collaboration with Lervig, which is worth everyone's time as a little trip to Morrison's for. But there's more coming. I know a few stores are getting some beers in from Omnipolo, some other Lervig beers as well. There's some North beers going in. And Tesco have just announced, I think today and yesterday, that they've got a load of new beers coming in as well. Almost as a response to Morrison's, as if it was planned somehow. And yeah, I thought I'd crack this one to start with, to see what our new level of supermarket IPA is coming to now.
That's interesting, because I haven't been in a supermarket for months. And, I doubt the one by me, to be fair, would have any of them. So
That's
I just imagine it's a barren wasteland most of the time. So
I know.
COVID times, yeah.
Yeah, I know a load
It'll
of
be
the.
a step for a zombie film.
I know a load of the beers. Some of them are super limited, so like the Omnipolo one, and I think the Lervig ones are only going into maybe like 20 Morrison's stores. I guess because they could only source a certain amount. So it's good to see them kind of going in. Be interesting to see kind of how some of these are priced. I think the ones I've got were £4, so they've bumped up from their kind of £3.50 kind of mark, I guess, because that makes sense, right? Lucy, what beer have you got?
I'm going to start with a Hellas Lager from Galway Bay Brewery. This is called Slow Lives. Did I have this on the podcast already? I hope not.
I don't think so.
I've definitely had this beer before.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping I didn't. Whoa. Okay, I can't read any of that flavor text. It's white text on like cream background, so I'm not even gonna bother trying. My eyes are not that great, so they're alright, but they're not that great to read white text on cream background. So yeah, it's a Hellas Lager. What's the ABV? 5%.
Nice.
I mean, it's hard enough to see on the camera, but yeah, you can't see the text.
Very, very white on the camera. Yeah.
It's like staring directly into the sun. So I'm not going to bother.
Good. We'll come back round to you, Aadil. How's the beer?
It's actually, given that it was dry hopped, you can tell there's like some sweetness and some almost melon. But I am surprised that the nose isn't too strong.
Mm-hmm.
So given that it's dry hopped, you'd think maybe some of the dry hopness would come out and have a stronger nose.
Yeah.
But it is. Oh, it's kind of exactly what you want from like a 4% sour. It's not too sour. It's really refreshing. It's I think because it doesn't seem like it if you look at it, right? It's got this sort of honey orange, small bubbles, but it's got just the right amount of carbonation. Which I know if you can look closely, maybe no, it won't focus. But there's a constant stream of small bubbles, so it's actually more effervescent than it looks, and that helps sort of that sour taste come through. Yeah, it's really quite. It's like a light sour that has, like I said, some sort of cantaloupe melon sort of vibes as well. But it's not too tart. What does linger is this light sourness with like a melon through line. The sweetness from the melon kind of disappears, but it sort of has this really like immediate. Oh yeah, this is tart, and then it's like not super tart, but it's this tart and a little sweet, and then that's sort of goes down 2 steps and then stays.
Yeah,
you have this nice, like I said, bubbly. Oh yeah, this is a sour, but then it's like cool, and now that part's over, and you can still have that taste, but it's not overpowering you. So it's kind of like you get this hit with this is what a sour should taste like, but then not any of the, oh no, I'm stuck with this taste for maybe too long, which is very hard to find in a sour, where you have that initial hit of strong seeming sour, but then it goes away so quickly that you're not left being like, I'm gonna have to sip this really slowly, or I'm just gonna pound it back to get through. It's like, oh, actually, what lingers is, like I said, like 2 steps down. And so it's just like it's an interesting way to do a sour, of having it sort of seem punchier than it is, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, that's fair.
How about you, Ben?
It's interesting. I've just as I was about to sip it, I thought I'd pour the rest of the can, which is taking me dangerously close to the top. I'm going to sip it before I show everybody, so it doesn't spill everywhere. It's very, very light in colour, like super light. It's got a little bit more of a yellowy tinge. You can probably tell if you're watching, viewing us on Twitch or somewhere, YouTube or on Twitch. I'm a little darker because my settings decided just to drop suddenly. So it's a little more yellow. It's a little lighter than you can kind of see, but it's very, very clear. It doesn't have much head whatsoever. But it's really, really easy. There's not a big flavour to it. It's very, again, as the colouring is to it, it's very, very light. But you do get those tropical fruits coming through. So there's a little bit of that passion fruit coming in as well. A little bit of the mango. I'm not sure if I could have picked them out had it not have said that. So you're definitely kind of getting softer tropical fruits, a little kind of stone fruity as well, but it does have a little bit of pininess to the back end, and that element lingers quite nicely. Yes, interruption from Kim. She'd like to try my beer. One of the joys of being in the kitchen, I can't hide myself away and drink all of my beer. I get interruptions for little tasters. Thoughts? Nah, that face says nah.
I appreciate the effort, though, Kim.
Yeah.
They appreciate the effort. Kim says it's too lagery. I think that's the piney finish. I think that's that slightly danker, pinier finish to it coming through. And with it being kind of a clearer, crisper beer as well, you can kind of definitely get that element. But you are getting those tropical fruits kicking through quite nicely. It's easy,
right.
but yeah, it's just really light. Really, really light, but nice. Nice, very easy. Lucy, how about you?
Yeah, it's nice looking beer. It's mostly clear, just a little bit of haze, a little bit of cloudiness. Nice light straw colour. Nice foamy white head. Yeah, it's got, quintessential lager smell. Bit of lemon, bit of zest. Yeah. What you expect. Carbonation wise, can't see much of it now. There's a little bit, but we'll see. Yeah, that's a really easy lager. You haven't got too much carbonation, so it hasn't got that like fizzy, gassy, like horrible taste that a lot of lagers can have.
Good.
Quite smooth. It's slightly creamy, but you're still getting like a lot of freshness, a lot of zest, bit of lemon. Not too bitter. Getting a bit more sweetness. Yeah, it's just a really good lager. It's easy. It's not. I'd say probably some of the best craft lagers that I've had are probably from like Don Zoco. They do a Hellas one, isn't it? Their main one, yeah.
Yes.
I'd say that's probably like top tier craft lager that I've tasted, but this is definitely a step below that. But it's still nice. It's pleasant. Yeah, you could easily drink a few of these like on a hot summer's day, and as I say, not get that horrible gassy feeling that you'd get from other lagers. So
Good.
it's a good beer. I like this brewery. I buy them off Honest Beer. I hadn't really heard of them prior to that, but they do like solid beers. So, is it the their oatmeal IPA. I think that's in a 440 ml can. I really like that one. I can't remember if I've had that on the podcast, but yeah, I'm finding myself keep repeat buying them because they're fair price, they taste decent, and yeah,
Nice.
good hell is lager. Yeah.
Perfect. Is it kind of Hellas always make me think of kind of like not the kind of lager that you sit in the middle of the day to sip. It's kind of more the beer that comes after the day of drinking. It's kind of more something that you want to stick around the same kind of style and the same kind of flavours, but you want something a bit more from a lager, you know, not just a standard lager, not maybe a Pilsner or something. Hellas always kind of stands out to me as being something that's maybe just a little bit bigger.
Yeah. This one's not too malty, so it hasn't got that big malt forward profile, so it's definitely a bit more restrained, a little bit more pulled back, so I would attribute this to, like, yeah, I could drink this during the day, like several of them. It seems, even though it's 5%, it seems like a lot lower session strength, like kind of light 4s. So yeah, I mean,
Nice.
It's halfway done, and that's only because I've been talking. Yeah, it's good.
Brilliant. Right, let's enjoy these, and we'll crack into our topics this week. I don't know, I think you started off with Adam last week, didn't you? And I was going to come to one of the two of you, the opposite one who didn't start, but Adam started last week, so I don't know who to come to. Aadil, we never start with you. What do you want to chat about this week?
What did I play? Not a lot. Has it really been a week? What is time?
Exactly.
Yeah, I actually... Oh, now I remember. I was going to bring up the news that came out tonight about the Microsoft speakerphone.
Yes. The Series S?
The Xbox Series S, yeah. Of course, I say that. I didn't realize that you were going to come to me first, and I don't have the news up.
The long and short of it is that it was leaked. The images, like the assets, just like the marketing assets for this speaker. It was like confirmed that. Well,
it was leaked, and then Xbox shortly afterwards confirmed it. Was the big
release date, price, and that the fact that it does actually exist, which we all knew because like so many like product manuals have like Xbox One S, Xbox Series X. Sorry, stupid names. Xbox Series X in there, like
So, do you think that by the end of the product line, they'll have the T, U, and V series?
I think it makes sense for now. It doesn't make sense coming off. Sorry, for the future, it doesn't make sense coming off the Xbox One X and Xbox One S. It's just convoluted, but you calling something a series, and I mean they've already painted themselves into this corner.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean,
should have just been called the Xbox 2, but what are you gonna do?
For those, before we jump ahead, just for the if people haven't seen, it's supposed to be a $299 US or $249.99 pound.
I think it'll be the same price it usually is.
No, I think it has been confirmed at $249.
Oh, has it been?
It's $249 confirmed.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Eurogamer. I think I saw it on a Eurogamer tweet.
Yeah.
That's
where
insane,
I saw it as well.
because usually it's like price parity between.
Yeah.
the UK
I think it has to do with
tax and stuff like that.
I mean, you do see maybe a bit of a 50 difference if you're up towards that $500 or $600 mark.
But the $300 mark, usually they just are happy to eat that difference in profit.
Or it comes out
November
like
10th?
£280 or something like that. But,
that's nuts.
Yeah. So, and it comes out November 10th. And it is.
Sorry,
go on. I was just gonna say it's marketed as the smallest Xbox ever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they like their
I mean,
relatives, don't they?
They do.
yeah, it's like
Absolutely.
we've got
powerful.
all of the
The
flops,
most
but also
powerful,
the small one.
smallest.
Yeah,
The smallest,
and
most powerful.
Yeah.
Which way around
and
do they put that?
yeah, so it's the smallest.
Yeah.
It's discless, I think, is one of the reasons
Yeah,
why it's so
yeah.
small. And then supposedly and then the Series X is going to be $500, but I didn't actually get a confirmation on what I didn't see a confirmation on the price of the Series X.
I don't think there has been. I think that is still
Yeah.
a rumored price point. But interesting that they have dated. What was it? November the 10th.
For both.
Yeah, it's you. I mean, it ain't far away. It's 2 months off.
2 months.
2 months.
But also, yeah. So that's a thing. Before we get to what we think of the price, the fact that they announced the Series S because that got leaked, and then they give their price, but then they're like, "But we're still not telling you the price of ours because we're playing chicken with Sony." Really
That makes
pisses me
sense,
off.
you know? Yeah, I mean,
But yeah, I know it's just
I mean, because like you wouldn't confirm it at this point because, as you say, they're still playing chicken with Sony. If Sony are like 500, then they'll be like, yeah, 500. But if Sony's like
450.
450, they'll be like, yeah, it wasn't really 500, it was 450.
Yeah,
those
yeah.
links are false.
Yeah.
I cannot see. I mean, I imagine the PS5 is going to be between either 450 or 500, and it will be, and it will. But I think it will be like price parity across all of the currencies as well. So if it's $500, it's going to be 500 quid.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what I
see
If
that.
it's the I think the PlayStation's going to be more expensive.
What do you reckon? $600, maybe 550 quid.
12,000.
Mate, I've only got £400 saved in cash. So
Okay,
far.
you won't. But you won't need to buy it for another 2 years before something useful comes out. So who
That's
cares?
very true.
That's true.
But
I need that Astro Room box house.
I
What the
mean,
fuck's that?
I mean, to be
not
fair, that's like the
describe
only
game,
thing
but,
that
like,
seemed
come on.
interesting.
But we're not in the PS1 era where it's like, oh, this cool demo thing built onto the console. This is not Alex the Kid where that was like, ooh, a game. This is like, this is a freebie that they're throwing in.
Absolutely.
It's like, come on. This is not anything someone should be really.
And I can't imagine
their
it's.
purchasing decision on.
And I would imagine if it's going to come out with, every console, it's not a product that's going to be sold separately because there would be nothing to sell it separately on.
It's the one going in the junk folder. On
Yeah.
But it's not it's not one of those titles that you're like, well, it's a £30 game, so discount 30 quid. That's actually what the console costs. I don't think it's quite that, as you say, Reese. I think it's much more of a demo. Yeah, or will be at
It's
least.
like
But not
it's like that
on the
VR Worlds thing that came with PSVR, right? It's just here is a way that we can do a weird demo of the things that developers might use, but might never see.
Yeah, and I felt that stopped being a interesting prospect in the PS2 days.
So
Unless it's bejeweled on the Xbox 360.
Just to jump back a little on track, the Series S has a different GPU, which is weaker, but still apparently can play the flagship games. And I suspect what it might be is that the specs they released were 120 frame per second at 1440p and 4K upscaling.
Right.
So it sounds like what they've done is they've then looked at the hardware and been like, okay, so if we're gonna have to brag about 4K, so what's the frame rate we think our 4K gaming can be at, and then we'll just get the GPU that can do that at 1440. This is my guess, right?
How does this compare to the Series X? How much is a Series X?
Series X can do 8K. Do you mean Xbox One?
Do you mean One X or
Okay,
Series X?
sorry.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean Series X. Xbox One.
Welcome to
X.
fucking problem.
Fucking hell.
I think the only difference is the One X is, well, technically it is upscaling and checkerboard 4K, but
Yeah, but it goes up to 60 frames per second.
yes,
That's
true.
so.
True. So yes, technically, on the, just reading the specs, that apparently this one would be more powerful than the One X.
Also, the big thing is this.
It's 2 years later.
Yeah.
Hardware's, parts have gotten cheaper. Xbox have gotten better at making tech. To be honest, as a company, anyway. So.
The other big thing is the thing that they want to brag about is ray tracing is on the Series S, which won't be on the One X because ray tracing is what they're bragging about on both, in the same way that Nvidia has for the past two generations, right?
Well, that's really
so it is really impressive, right? Lighting is what makes or breaks immersion in environments, is my humble opinion.
Yeah, having been a X owner myself, HDR is by far more impressive than more pixels.
Yeah, I mean, if you can do like this is why the Series S actually has me kind of interested. It's got ray tracing, it's got high frame rate at 1440. I'm okay at 1080. I have a 4K screen, but I also, and I mean the big problem is if I'm sitting here, less than an arm's length away from a television at 4K, I do notice when I run things at 1080 sometimes that I can see pixels, but it's outside of that, I mean, I can also do this. And then they kind of disappear. So there is a solution, but outside of that, the few times I've because this is not the greatest HDR panel, but it is HDR, and I've noticed the difference, and I have yet to really experience too much of the gaming with or without, but what I have been really this feels like when I first saw 1080p, it feels like that big jump, HD, it means a thing, not 4K, it is the same. And so ray tracing and HDR, I think if you can do that at a reliable frame rate, which maybe I'm an old man, but I think 60 is probably okay for most people.
I think I don't see them hitting, even at the end of this generation, I don't see anybody hitting 120 reliably on anything.
Digital Foundry are going to be in work for years to come, testing all of these machines and all of the new games and every every tagline that is thrown out there.
I bet the Series X could.
Nobody else.
Yeah.
I bet the Series X and the PlayStation 5 could play Crysis at 120 frames per second.
Well, the original Crysis.
1080p. Yeah, not the reboot. The OG one. 1080p, 120? Yeah, I believe that.
No.
It is. It's 120. It's just 4 colors. Just really swift.
No, because when I look at things like most of the games I played, apart from maybe, no, I can't remember having anything play. Maybe the original Doom, reliably at 60. Not original Doom, but 2016.
2016. Yeah.
Play reliably at 60 frames. Hitman. I mean, IO do. I think they're doing Voodoo over there, but
yes.
They do 4K 60, and it's just nuts what they can do. But yeah, it's few and far between, to be honest. But
well, I think the other thing is secretly the game devs know no one can fucking see that many frames. So as long as they can show a peak of 120 for 120 sustained for 5 seconds, they're like, look, we did it in our tech demo. And then oh, it only goes to 75. No one noticed.
Yeah.
Until they get their FPS counter on, and they're like, actually. And then people, and that's Nvidia sells them a bigger card the next year. Win-win.
There's so many, because as you say, Ben, Digital Foundry, how many videos have you watched and it's oh, this is a reliable 60 frames, or even 30. It's they're all over the place.
I mean, stuff is all over the place, and that's been a lot to do with the retail space on the screen, what's been going on, particle counts, and all of those sorts of things. And I think that was kind of the big selling point going up to the current generation from the previous. The whole idea that more stuff could happen. I remember, was it Dead Rising 4? They're like, we can have 4 billion zombies all on screen at once, all coming to Dead Rising 3.
Check the frame rate on that chugged.
Yes.
I love that game.
And
I put hundreds of hours into it, but that chugged.
and PlayStation were very much, look at all of these particles, look at all of the exploding things on the screen. You know, you look at something like Tetris Effect and it's just fucking stuff.
No, Ben,
bloody
it wasn't
everywhere.
that.
Oh, it wasn't that then. No, absolutely not. Not when it kind of released. And I sort of see this generation as being the same kind of thing. You know, we had HDR, halfway through this generation. Ray tracing, yes, is a newer thing, so that's going to kind of be built in. But I think the particle stuff is going to be, you know, the amount of things that kind of go on screen. And having a stable frame rate is going to be the thing that everyone is kind of clambering for, or at least what the manufacturers are clambering for, not necessarily what the consumer is clambering for. And we've seen with PlayStation kind of that, was it the Ratchet and Clank kind of demo where fucking loads of stuff is happening. Too much stuff is happening for you to be even able to track what is happening.
Well, I'm too old for this. I
Oh,
can't,
mate,
I can't
my eye are like, fucking so much stuff.
Yeah, I don't give credit enough credit to PlayStation for that. How their HDR integration in this generation was literally just a patch.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Save me money.
Absolutely.
But yeah, getting back onto the Series S. Looking, as I was saying to you, like looking from a perspective, like if someone still has their launch VCR Xbox One, this is such an enticing prospect. Not just if you're, you know, integrated into that ecosystem, but just for next gen in general. Like, even though those stats do seem a bit optimistic in my opinion, 249 quid is nuts. Because I bought my Xbox One S for like, all in all I got it for like 125 quid. It's like that good piece of tech. So for, like, as I say, they've just gotten better at making hardware now, and it's like, whatever you're getting, it's going to be a quality product. So,
and yeah, the big thing there is that, like, they're actually passing on the savings of hardware over the past couple of years.
Yes,
very aggressively, which is nice. Because, like, I mean, I think this is why the Game of Chicken was what it is, right? Was because the hardware has gotten cheaper. But like, if they both kind of charge close to the same high price, they can kind of get more monies. So like that, like part of this Game of Chicken, I think, is actually sort of oligarchy collusion of like, how much can we not lose, probably, but like charge above what, you know, we would have to aggressively set the market at if we just had to be like, look, they're around, and we just, like, if someone said you need to have the price out today, they'd be like a month ago, they'd be like, well, I don't know what PlayStation's going to do. I want to win. I'm going to take a big hit to ensure I'm aggressively priced. And actually, this Game of Chicken is sort of allowing them to feel each other out. And I think this is kind of plays into that. This is Microsoft saying we're willing to be pretty aggressive.
Yeah, and it's
much.
Microsoft, like, they're, you know, billions. So it's like, I think
I mean, Sony's not.
I always thought Sony would price it higher because they don't want to make that much of a loss, if a loss at all, on their hardware. So, whereas Microsoft, they seem, as you say, more aggressive this time around.
Yeah.
So we'll take the hit. We're Microsoft.
Well, I think the Microsoft coffers are a little bit deeper than Sony's.
Just
you know, PlayStation are kind of their big area, aren't they? PlayStation's the area that brings in a lot more money than a lot of their other sort of departments, apart from like image censoring or something like that, which is kind of like, you know, where their actual money comes in from.
Yeah. Bill Gates would be like, here's some spare change in my pocket.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I think it's an amazing price point for an entry point into the console space. It's an amazing price point for anyone that doesn't have a high-end PC. Anyone that wants to play the Xbox exclusives, you know, I can very happily sit here and say I don't need one. I've got a PC. I can play anything that's coming to PC Game Pass very well on my PC. Okay, I may be upgrading in kind of the next couple of years. That's kind of my headspace. I know I'm going to be upgrading my PC sometime soon. I'm probably going to opt for a PS5. I'm not the person that this is aimed at. It's not aimed at me, but it's aimed at a lot of people. It's aimed at a lot of people that have maybe one console, they don't have a PC, that they want to maybe, dip in, and they've been PlayStation gamers, they want to dip into the other side, they want to kind of, or they...
I think it's not them.
Oh, okay. Who do you think it is?
It's not. It's people who started gaming on the Switch and want to play more games.
Oh, yes.
That's what the Series S is. The Series S is I want to see this more competitive, more AAA space at the price of kind of what I paid for my Switch. That's what I'm used to paying for a console, but this is like more hardcore, more intense, and some more adult things, and a back catalog of Xbox One games.
And it's the same price as like a launch Switch, and that whole, here's the marketing speak, is it Xbox All Access or something like that, where you can, it's basically the mobile phone, like kind of pay package where you pay like 25 quid a month.
Yeah.
And it's 0% APR. Because I would have been like, you can't afford to buy a console, don't buy it on interest, but it's like 0% APR. And you get Game Pass Ultimate thrown into that, so it's like...
Why not, right?
How many months are you paying that for, though? Obviously, if it's £25, if it's interest free, yes, but it's £25 a month and it's a £250 box. They said they're throwing that in. Is it 12 months or is it over 2 years? So you're actually paying £500, £600 if it's over 2 years, right?
I mean,
maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but it works out as a decent price considering you got Game Pass Ultimate.
I mean, I think
what is Game Pass Ultimate? Sorry,
sorry.
What is Game Pass Ultimate? 10, 12, 15 pounds, somewhere around there.
15.
Okay, so you're looking at say the console is 250. You're paying, if it's £15, it's 150. Another £180. You're looking at about 420 quid for a year of Game Pass and the console, paying over a year. So yeah, £25 a month, 48 quid, 2 years. We're kind of getting close, but actually it's still, it might be interest free, but they're still making money on that.
I was just saying, I mean, the thing is,
if it's 2 years, if it's 18 months.
To be fair,
it's 2 years. I just looked it up.
Okay.
There are people who are like saved all their rewards points and like getting a free Xbox One, Xbox Series X.
Mate,
so if you
I mean, the amount of phones that you can get on contract now that give you a free TV, a free console, a free something else is absolutely insane. And I would imagine that kind of you will see next year so many, the release of so many mobile phones which align themselves and say, buy this phone and get yourself a free Xbox Series Series S. And everyone goes, well, cool. Like Aadil said, I've only got a Switch. I've only got a PlayStation. I can get myself a free console and then dip into all of these kind of games.
So it is, according to the website, at least, it seems like it's 24 months.
Okay.
But you do get, so you can start it now, and then after you've done 18 months of, you get a free console upgrade.
Yeah, I think that's what some people have been doing.
But basically, if you do the maths, it's like around the same price as paying for everything.
Yeah.
Out of pocket, but it's not.
It's just nice. It's just the fact that there's an option. It's like
and even if they make 20 quid, it's still.
Yeah, I mean, if you want it that badly, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's the best. If you can't afford the 250, but I mean, if you can't afford it and want it, I mean, I don't think it's so irresponsible that you end up paying 2 extra payments or whatever.
As I say, because it's 0% APR, so it's not like they'll need your credit card information or whatever, but it's like
that's still £600.
Yeah, but
Well, so the thing is that it's hard to quantify, right? Because they have three tiers.
there's an option, you know. More options is never a bad thing.
Well, it is when everything is called Series Y, Series X, Series T,
I mean,
Series AA475.
So there-
£400 a month, £25 a month, £61.50 a
actually,
month.
Ben, I'm glad you said that because the Xbox One S all digital is $17.99.
Oh,
The Xbox One S console is $19.99.
hang on,
and
wait. Sorry,
Xbox, because
What is
their current
Xbox?
prices aren't
All
their
did-
current prices are not the series.
Oh,
this-
okay, right.
It's the current price. The current prices they have are for the current gen, which
Yep.
is the S digital, S disc,
Yep.
X.
Because
And
they
so-
started this program about 2 years ago.
Mm.
So.
Yes,
And so it's
yeah.
$17.99, $19.99, and $21.99.
Okay.
The key that you have to remember is if people, it's 0% APR at $24.99. For 24 months. But if you don't fully pay it off, I don't know how much you're required to pay, etc. You're getting seriously hit because it's a lending firm,
Yep.
Yeah.
and that's how 0% APR works, right? So
And you need to look at-
it's a smart decision if you can keep your costs in, but like if you knew you're going to pay Xbox All Access anyway, right? I think that's not a terrible idea, but how people get in the trap is the usual. Well, I didn't think about it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I've worked for some insurance companies. Will not name names. I'll just say this is this is the good version.
Yeah.
Other than the cynical, bleeding you dry.
I mean,
every
I completely get it. You know, I bought
pick an Xbox One from one of those companies and be paying it off for the rest of your life.
Yep. I bought kind of the only thing I've really ever got on finance currently is my car. That's how I pay for my car. But there is interest on that. The only thing I've ever really got that's interest free was a mattress, a new bed mattress, which we basically went, let's buy a reasonable one and then pay it off, you know, kind of monthly, which worked out quite well. We could budget for that. And luckily we were in a position when we had to, you know, when we've upgraded our mattress recently, that we could just kind of pay it outright. But I think, you know, we were paying like £35 a month for a year for a mattress, and it's nothing really out of our, you know, the budget we had kind of as our combined household stuff. And some people aren't going to be able to afford it, absolutely, and there's going to be lots of people who kind of rely on their parents to be able to get them into this space, who you know, may not have the means to be able to kind of buy it outright. And absolutely, this works very much for lots of people, especially people who aren't in the console space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like no, these consoles are not marketed towards me. I already know that, and it's like I'm putting myself into the position of like, oh, maybe if I was, if I didn't have that cash, I was 17 or something, had a job, I'll pay that money.
Absolutely.
There you go. My parents are not going to buy it for me outright. I'll pay that money, whatever. Now, as a 30-year-old, I'll be like, maybe not buy a console on you know, credit, because that's not a way I'd want to spend my money if I don't have that money to spend.
And 25 quid isn't even a night out anymore. So
Who?
over,
I
I mean, so over a month, you're not even missing out on a night out. If that is, you know,
Yeah.
Material stuff.
it's one round when there's a few of you out. So it's you know, in relative kind of terms, that it's not very much. So for some people it will be. Some people it will, you know, and £25 will be the way that they can cover it, and that will be Christmas sorted for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's Game Pass Ultimate. That's the real seller. Like,
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
that kid. I love that now as an adult. It's very good.
Right. Should we move on? Should we open some more beers?
Oh,
Talking of expensive things, let's open more beers. Although my beers weren't expensive this week, so I should shut up. Lucy,
Yeah.
you
I
finished
can do
last time. Well, you can lead this time.
Okay. I'm drinking a beer from Crack and
Ooh.
Lervig.
Oh, okay.
Collaboration. Now this is white text on orange.
What's a nice can?
And it's in Italian, so
Is it a cheetah? Is it called the cheetah?
it's called something. It's called Party Animals.
Nice.
Yeah, like weird orange leopard print. Yeah, it's a double dry hopped rye IPA and it's 7%.
Nice.
Orange coconut. Not
Would
going to
you
read
have
the
that?
flavour if there's any.
I haven't had a rye IPA for a long time.
I had one yesterday
Fair enough.
from Kinnegar.
Nice.
Vale.
Aadil, what have you got next?
A text message apparently. No. I have the Ye Old Stout will never go out of style from Evil Twin.
Ooh, nice.
5.5. Let's try that again. 5.4% barley, oats, hops, yeast, water. Not in that order. Yum, 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 yum. That's it. Just a nice, classy Evil Twin can. As always, although it's hard to tell because this one's black and white versus usually like white on a two-toned color. But it's like a gray, a light gray on the black. They've got their little patterning.
Nice.
But yeah, keeping up the one stout a week requirement that we've been having for a few months now.
All through the summer. Right, I'm going to open up a double IPA from Left Handed Giant. As mentioned
Nice.
earlier, I picked up some cans as a takeout from Left Handed Giant when we were there. This is Fossil and Fern, which is 8.2%. It lets me know that the hops are Cryo Citra, Motueka, and Cryo Mosaic. That is everything. Tells me that it hops fade fast. Hops fade fast. Please recycle. Still cold. The writing, there's a tiny label. It says vegan friendly. It's a big V, but the words vegan friendly are very, very small. And then it just tells me the allergens. That's about it. It's a lovely can. Left Handed Giant have lovely can arts, just some ferns and lots of colours. So yeah, I shall open this and we'll come back to you, Lucy.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a rye IPA and it doesn't really smell like one for me. It just looks like a New England IPA.
Ooh, Merc. Merc.
Merc,
wow, yeah.
Merc, it's like yellow in colour. Yeah, just a bit darker than straw coloured. But yeah, proper Merc. Very cloudy. I could smell it, like the tropical fruits, like immediately. Like even, about a foot away from my nose, you can still smell them. I expect that with like Crack and Lervig, like their fruity beers as well. So
Yeah.
smells good, man. Smells like vintage cloud water.
Ooh.
Like some of the series beers, the double IPAs. Smells
The
good.
good old days.
Yeah, like malty mango.
Nice.
Smells real good.
Looks good. Smells good.
Tastes good.
Yes.
Excellente.
Where the rye is. I know where it is, but I don't care. It's good. Maybe it's got a bit more maltiness from the rye in it, but let me give it another swig. No, it's really more piney than anything else. Just piney and fruity. This is just like a fruit bomb.
Yeah.
It's giving me a lot of, like, as I say, those Cloudwater flashbacks. Getting tons and tons of fruit, like, on the front and on the back. Like, as I'm speaking now, you're getting some bitterness at the end. Nice bitterness, nice pininess, but you're still getting that fruit as well, so...
How viscous is it? Because it looks
I'd say-
thick. The murk makes it look thick. I'm
does,
saying there's
yeah.
a lot of fruits, a lot of stuff in there. It makes it seem like it's quite a big, thick kind of beer, almost soupy.
Yeah, it is a bit soupy. It's not. Actually, I was saying that I was about to say it's not too heavy, but like some of that alcohol from that 7% now is like I'm starting to feel and getting that warm sensation as well. So it is heavy,
Okay.
but not. It's definitely not as dense and viscous as it looks though. But I think the lack of like carbonation will have something to do with that. It's not taking away any of that viscosity, so it may because it's been sitting around for a while. But to be honest, knowing these two breweries, I'd probably just imagine they probably just made out to go for a complete fruit bomb.
Yeah.
And just rye IPA on the can. I don't know, but double dry hopped. You can definitely tell it because like the aroma is just it's all there. It's just it's like an assault. I can still smell it, and it's and the fruit can still taste the fruit. Can still taste like that pitiness. This is a really good beer. As I say, I don't think it is what it says on the tin, but I really don't care because this is one of the best beers that I've tasted in lockdown. To be fair,
Wow.
Ooh. Nice.
They're two great breweries. Like,
Yeah.
Crak is like one of my favorites now. Like, if I see a beer from them, it's like, oh, I know that tastes good, so I'm gonna buy it. And everybody loves Lervig.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's as I say, there's not much carbonation to it, so yeah, it is giving that like bit more heaviness, and that 7% doesn't help that, but fine, it's good.
Yeah. Fair. Good.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Aadil, we'll come back to you for your stout. Your evil twin stout.
Yes, my Evil Twin Stout. It's got a lovely malty caramelly nose, like a hint of sweetness on those malts. Just gives a nice, that nice rounded nose. Nice and dark. Some legs. It's got a nice viscousy feel, but I think it's actually just good mouthfeel and strong taste. 'Cause now at the end, I'm noticing it's quite thin,
Okay.
so it feels bigger. It's 5.4%. I just want to double check. But it immediately comes forward with these roasted, like quite roasted, malty notes, really full flavored. Yeah, it's it comes forward with this roasted malty taste. Finishes a little sweet and then kind of thin, in a way that like got that roasted and some bitter coming off of that. Not quite coffee, just sort of like I said, roasted notes, and then noticing, oh yeah, it's quite thin and it's leaving quite quickly, except for this lingering sweetness, which I think is what makes that sort of caramelly nose and that rounds out the beginning of the taste. But because of that slight sweetness and the bitterness are the only things that linger, it actually kind of makes it finish kind of like sort of the actual finish, the long lingering thing is kind of acrid, just because it's a little the bitterness and the sweetness are interacting in a not ideal way, but everything before that was really good. It was nice, sort of boisterous without it being in your face, but just sort of fades to this thin, so I don't have to reach for the glass again, but also kind of acrid, so I probably will. Just to sort of stave off because it's actually quite a long finish, but again, the bitter and the sweet are they're not dancing together, they're sort of facing off.
One after the other.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like I said, the like slightly sweet and like really roasted taste is quite good. So the fact that I'm gonna reach for it more often is probably is okay. It's just like if But this isn't the stout I would pick if I wanted to just slowly sip a stout, because the finish is just not ideal, but it's long. So as long as there's normally if I want to sort of nurse a stout, it's like, oh, as long as there's a taste in my mouth, I can just leave it be until I grab another sip when that's finally faded. And here it's like, once the good stuff is gone, I'm going to want to replace the not so great stuff. So I'll drink it faster than I would want if I wanted to nurse a stout.
Yeah.
How about you, Ben?
Ooh. It's got a nice nose. Fruity, but a little bit dank as well. It's a lot thicker than the previous beer. A little more orange as well in colour. Obviously in my branded left-handed giant glass.
Oh yes, of course.
Looks perfect. A little bit of head.
Representing Aadil today.
Nice.
Nobody?
I need some more glassware.
See, my problem is all my branded glassware is just stuff the house has had, and so it's stuff I don't want to necessarily represent.
Yeah.
So it's like, I prefer the Pint Glass by Pint Glass Co.
This is very subtle.
Hmm.
It's got a little more body to it. It's a little viscous. And the alcohol does creep in very slightly. But I am getting a lovely kind of toffee flavour leading into a nice piney, like easy piney bitterness kind of towards the end. It's two sort of flavours that I've got this malty kind of toffee note, slightly burnt perhaps, that does lead really easily into the pininess. The previous, the Siren, kind of was like fruit, pininess, and this just eases its way through both of those. I'm not getting a huge amount of fruit. It's not like a juice bomb. It's not big in those kind of tropical fruit notes. What is it? Citra, Motueka, and Mosaic. I'm getting a lot more of the malts kind of kicking through in this and leading. There's a little bit of dankness. It's very, I don't know when this was brewed. It's a little kind of hoppy. There's a little kind of greenness to it. Greenness. This was canned on the 3rd of August, so over a month ago. So it's not, a week of freshness, but you're still getting maybe a little hoppiness, a little more dankness to this, which is nice. It works very well with those malty, those slightly sweeter, slightly toffee, malty notes to them as well. But it leads out, and it flows out really, really easily and really, really well. Both that malty nature and that pininess stick around. It's not quite like yours, Aadil, where kind of stuff's going on, nice stuff happens, and then that kind of fades quite quickly. You want to go back in. This sticks around for a long time, and I'm going back to it because I just want more of it, rather than that having disappeared from my palate and me reaching kind of for it. I'm starting to get a few of those fruits through, but it's definitely backseat kind of tropical fruits. There's not much on that at all. A little bit of the sweetness, and I think that's a bit more from the alcohol than from anything else. Oh, that's very easy. It's so easy. So easy. Little sweetness in
Sunday
there.
Morning.
Just, I think it's easier than a Sunday morning, Lucy. It depends how much you've had on a Saturday night, I think.
Easier than Lionel Richie.
It's definitely easier than Lionel Richie. It's not quite Stevie Wonder, but it's no. It's there. It's there. Ooh,
All the Commodores, no.
Oh, I'm going to enjoy this.
Excellent.
I think I'm going to enjoy this, but I think I'm going to jump in because I think one of the games I've played and that I want to talk about is something that you are currently playing, Lucy. There's a couple of games I want to talk about. That one I'm going to leave to be my second game. The first one I just want to touch upon, which is something I think I'll return to and talk about a bit more next week, is Paradise Killer. I've not spent a huge amount of time with this. Over an hour, about an hour and a half roughly. But my God, that is a game with style. It's Paradise Killer is this kind of first-person narrative detective game. You're traversing around, having conversations with the inhabitants of a city, a world that has been made, and you get thrust straight into the story of this game and kind of all of the absolutely insane kind of backstory about how this world has been created and how there is this council and these judges and all of these sorts of different things, and how this world is made and these inhabitants kind of flow through these different made worlds, and there's demons that come in and kind of try to take over, and the world has to be remade again. But the character that you play is brought in to investigate the murder of kind of the council, the people who remake this world each time, and you're going around talking to the inhabitants of it. But it is just vibrant. The music works fucking brilliantly with it. It's so good. And
yeah, I was listening to a few tracks this week. There's a Rock Paper Shotgun article saying it's the best OST of the year.
It's fantastic.
Oh wow,
it's really good. And you discover more music as you kind of explore the island that you're on as well. But you're kind of it's not quite a detective game in terms of kind of what people kind of get these days in terms of like, doing a detective mode in one of the Arkham games or kind of like the Witcher stuff. It's not that sort of stuff. It is interrogation. You're talking to people, you're questioning them, you're asking them about things. So you might go up to a character and say, what was your alibi? Where were you at this time? What do you think about this? Why do you have this in your possession? Those kinds of things. You're questioning people to come up with what you think happened and who you think did it, essentially. And as I say, I'm not that far into it, but I've had some excellent interactions with some characters, and the written text and the way that the characterization is really, really good. You play as, what is she called? Oh no, it's gone from my mind what she's called. It's a ridiculous name. Absolutely ridiculous. All of them have ridiculous names.
Lady something.
Lady Di, Lady something.
Or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I started Googling Spiritfarer.
I mean,
Lady Love Dies?
Lady Love Dies, yes, there you go. But she is animated as this slightly more robust, slightly thick character, and I'm like, oh yes, absolutely, I can see her fucking getting into it. And then she has this like flirtatious kind of dialogue with another character, and you get these options whether you can flirt with them or you can shut them down, and depending on how you kind of treat them, that might give you more information and give you more answers and lead you down more paths. And as I say, I haven't played much of it. I haven't got anywhere near uncovering much of this, but it'd be interesting to see how that plays out, how those different ways of treating people actually give you different answers and where that may lead you. But as I say, it's so stylish. It's pure 90s.
Jet Set Radio,
it does. It's so 90s. It's vibrant.
Right.
Yeah. It does. It has a little bit of Phoenix Wright to it as well, in terms of that kind of like, you're deducing certain things, you're trying to work stuff out, you're questioning characters and things like that. So
yeah, it's like Phoenix Wright, LA Noir-ish sort of.
But where those games are like very linear, I've heard that just from looking at the reviews that, and obviously you haven't got that far, Ben, but that it's all based on your deductions, i.e., there's no wrong answers.
No, yes.
Yeah.
It definitely said that. I think it starts you off with a couple of kind of explanatory paragraphs essentially saying like fact and the truth are not the same. You need to uncover the truth. You need to uncover facts. You can use fact to uncover the truth. That sort of very obscure, open sort of nature to it. And I think I could see myself going through this and being, this is the killer, this is the person that did it, and this is the evidence I've got, and actually having a case to be able to make against them and support and evidence for that. And I think it can be very open-ended. I think there's lots of stuff that could lead you to different people, and hopefully those dialogue options do change things and actually do lead you down that, because as we've talked about on many occasions, dialogue options for the sake of being like it's left or it's right, we kind of want those dialogue options to blur things and to lead you to your own conclusions and stuff like that. And I think this will do it very, very well. And I need to put much more time into it. As I say, I've played about an hour and a half.
It's been on my wish list for I don't know how long. But I didn't clock it until I went on Steam to just look it up. I'm like, oh, this game on my wish list. So I'm happy to hear it's good. It's at what?
It's like 25% off or something like that.
It's 20% off right now until the 11th at 12 quid on Steam.
I might get it on Switch because I think it's around the same price.
So we're going to publish on the 11th. So if you're listening to us on day of release, you can go and pick this up. Yeah, you can go pick it up with that discount to it as well. But it's, so far from what I played, it's fantastic. It's really good. Really enjoying it. Am I enjoying it as much as the second game that I'm going to talk about? I haven't played enough. The second game is crack
cocaine. So.
Mate, Spiritfarer is ridiculous. I mean, I played maybe an hour, and I'm thinking, I need to go back. I need to know what these characters are. I need to know what's happening in this world. I need to play some more. And I played 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 a fucking lot of this game. And it has absolutely shot up my favourite games from this year because it's so well written. I mean, there's some kind of past the time elements to it, a little bit of busy work kind of stuff. If you don't know, Spiritfarer is a game where you are a young girl who is Stella, who is helping characters to pass through to the other side. So there's some heavy topics in this, all about death, and there's lots of kind of conversations and things going on about how these characters felt during their lives, what they've accomplished, what they may not have accomplished, how they felt, whether they wanted you there. Some of the characters, I don't know whether it's a lot of them, but know Stella from kind of like real life. And this very much takes a fantasy vibe to kind of things. And I'm yet to determine and work out kind of how that works into this. Like, what is that kind of twist that changes this? So you have each of the characters are animals rather than people, and you're traveling around a sea, going to different islands to collect characters or different resources.
It's a nice version of the River Styx.
It is a nice version, yes, absolutely. But I played Summer in Mara not that long ago, which very much kind of gave me Wind Waker vibes. Spiritfarer is pure Wind Waker.
Farlone Sales vibes.
Yes, that as well. It's really narrative driven. Yes, you have a lot of things. So you can build. You've got two elements to this game. You have the element where you're on your boat, and then the element where you are on land and visit different islands and stuff. Whilst you're on your boat, you can build different buildings which will do certain things. So you can build a foundry where you can smelt ore that you pick up from the islands, or a mill where you can turn logs into planks. Those things then enable you to build more stuff, enable you to build houses for all of the inhabitants that come onto your boat, enable you to build or cook or craft fabric certain things that you kind of need to do quests for these characters so they can then go through their story to pass through to the other side. The kind of the crafting and building element is weaved quite well into the narrative element for these kind of characters, and it uncovers lots of different things and lots of lovely story and lots of lovely narrative for these characters. And I felt myself, even though I'd only spent time with a couple of characters for an hour or two, and taken them to different places and uncovered stuff, like I felt for these characters as they were passing over to kind of like the other side. And the way that the writing is when they're talking to Stella and saying, this is what I wanted from my life, this is what I want you to kind of remember me by. I'm like, fucking hell, this is deep as fuck. And some of them are related to Stella, and that relationship very much shows through. Others of them may or may not be, and I'm kind of questioning whether they are. And one character which passed on, which I didn't have any affinity for whatsoever, and helped them reconnect with another character, brought them onto the boat because the other character had asked me to go and find them, and done some stuff for them. I'm like, nah, I'm not feeling this character at all. And then suddenly that end dialogue when you're taking them on your little kind of rowboat to the gate to let them pass through, I'm like, holy shit, is this character, which hasn't said it at all, is that actually a relation of hers? The way that suddenly this conversation is happening makes it seem like they have a deeper connection with Stella than it might appear at first, or and stuff kind of comes through, and the way it makes you feel about these random fucking animal characters that you've just built a desk for, or put some pictures up in their room for, and given them their favourite meal, and all of these sorts of things. It's done so well. It's by Thunder Lotus, who did Jotun. So the art is in a similar kind of vein. It's very comic-y. It's beautiful. They have upped their game massively. And whilst it kind of, is still similar to kind of Jotun, it builds on that very, very well. The reflections in the water are fantastic. The particles and the lighting is lovely. Oh, go on then, Luce. Jump in.
I would just say I would disagree with just that you said, where you're saying they stepped their game, because they've always had beautiful art in their games.
Yes, they have. Yes, yeah.
I think it's. I'm just glad they've got a win this time, because people are paying attention to their game. I didn't gel with Jotun or Sundered, Sundered was like a 2D platformer, a platformer, Bruggish elements. I wasn't too enthused about it, but yeah, like Jotun was like a kind of combat game. Am I still here?
You're dropping in and out.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think you're good now. Oh no, I spoke too soon. You're freezing.
Am I freezing? Tell me when I've unfrozen.
You're unfrozen. No, you're frozen again. You're definitely a little bit, and then not a little bit, and then a little bit.
Yeah, basically every time you say, I'll just wait a second, you unfreeze, and then we're like, cool. Oh, but now you've been frozen for a good 10, 12, 15 seconds. This is the Frozen Talk, brought to you by Let It Go Incorporated.
Oh, very good. We'll wait for her to come back, but for those of us on Twitch, I'm really enjoying it. Spiritfarer is really good.
It's super interesting because, I look at it and it's like, this seems interesting, just by the screen caps, shots, and the couple of videos they have on the Steam page. I would have just let it slide by. It just doesn't.
Oh, absolutely. And this is something that I was going to kind of mention. It's on Game Pass on PC, and that's the only reason that I played it.
Aha! I was going to ask you whether you got a code or something.
No.
I mean, to be honest, the threshold of things that I need to get done and time and lack of guilt for playing games is actually kind of refreshing. And it's like, maybe I mean, money's tight, but I can buy a quid for Game Pass. I can probably squeeze that out.
Yeah,
right?
there's a lot of games. There's a lot of games to play.
Back?
Hey, yes,
You are
you're
back.
back.
I just disconnected from the Wi-Fi and reconnected, so
Nice.
it's
And you're not freezing either.
Yeah, you seem not jittery at all.
Yeah,
good.
good. Right, let me just
yeah,
mark down. Hang on, let me
yeah, I
mark down
think it was
1:17:30.
Yes,
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.
I remember that in my head.
Perfect. Right, yes, we were talking about
Shall I ask my
Jotun.
question?
The thing was alright. Right, just jump in wherever.
Yeah, and
I'll just ask my
Jotun
question. Oh, no, go for it. Yeah, Jotun.
yes, Jotun was like a kind of Titan Souls top-down, Dark Souls-y kind of game. But,
Yep.
I didn't really gel with those, but this one, yeah, it's, as I said, it's crack cocaine. That gameplay loop of just the resource management side of it is, yeah, just addictive as hell.
And it gets more so. I think the more that you unlock, and the more that those buildings and the resources that they allow you to produce start to then weave together with other buildings. You know, when suddenly you're like, okay, well, I need this building, I need this building, I need to produce this and this, which actually then lets me make a sheet of bronze or something like that. You know, stuff which felt a little bit perhaps arbitrary, and that you were kind of just doing stuff for the sake of it, are now kind of getting together a little bit more than just the element of kind of like cooking, where you can bring two elements. You know, you can get some wheat and an apple and make something. Or so.
I mean, could you elaborate just on what the gameplay loop is for those of us who haven't played it?
So you spend some
Just
time
a
on
little-
you're moving between different points on the map. So whether that's different islands, different points of interest, and whilst you're moving, you're spending your time on this boat. And while you're on the boat, you can do lots of stuff, dependent on the buildings that you have built on the boat. So you can build a loom, which will allow you to weave different fabrics. But to weave fabrics, you might have to have a garden. Is it a garden or a field, which allows you to grow like cotton? You can then weave cotton into cotton fabric. That might then be used for certain, buildings or certain items and improvements within buildings. You get a foundry, and you can go to islands and mine, and then use what the minerals that you've mined to turn into kind of ingots, which might then be used in buildings and things like that. So that is kind of the loop. It's visit places, get resources, enhance those resources to.
And you're also building on top of your boat, and you're as you're navigating this world, it's sort of like a classic Metroidvania kind of loop, where it's like, oh, I don't have this item on the boat to get to this area, like this area is full of like ice flows, and I need this particular thing on the front of my boat to get through there, because this particular character is saying, oh, go find that person. Because the ultimate goal is, as Ben said, to take these people into the underworld, see their final moments, kind of like that, fulfill their last wishes kind of trope in like most things to do with like death and departing and stuff like that.
Right.
And it's like, oh, I can't get to this place because is it Alfred or Albert or whatever his name is, the shark who sells you your ship upgrades?
Albert,
I need this for your boat. It's like, oh, I need silk, and it's like, where the hell do I get silk from? Oh, I need to go to this forest, which is beyond this, iceberg barrier, and it's like, I need to go over there, get the silk and stuff like that. So yeah, it there's always constantly things to do.
Yes.
Whether it's like micro things like, oh, someone just wants fried chicken, because when I die, yeah, please make me fried chicken on this love boat going down the River Styx. Or it's like there are bigger, like you have like all these. What's really good is like the inventory management, and it just does those things so well, like comparatively to like an Animal Crossing, which I think is like
Oh God.
but purposefully obtuse because it wants you to play for that long and purposely slow. This is just very like, oh, we're gonna put like here are your recipes against like all your ingredients. Go into the select, press select, and you'll see exactly what you need for this quest item or
Yep.
for your next ship upgrade and stuff like that. So it's like you can always check mark everything. It's like everything is just there available. And yeah, even like just moving things around your ship is just so easy and fluid. Again, coming back to like Animal Crossing, like just moving a building takes literal days, real days in Animal
Wow.
Crossing, whereas this is just like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to edit, and I just want to swap these two rooms, or I want to move this over there. It's just so fluid and easy. It's like, it's everything about like resource management games distilled into like, someone sat down and said, what's annoying about stuff like Animal
Absolutely,
Crossing,
yeah.
Sims, Stardew Valley, and stuff like that? Okay, let's streamline that and let's put it on this kind of, kind of narrative adventure game towards death. Ben, how you were saying, like, you were involved in like these animals, these spirit animals' lives and stuff like that. I'm not really gelling with that as much as I thought I would. Like
Okay.
the writing's good. Don't get me wrong. Some of it is actually quite funny. Just from like the characters that you meet on like all these islands, and just random lines from the characters on the boat. I think Stanley's the best. Stanley
Absolutely.
has good things to
Yep.
say. But
Good old Stan Lee.
yes,
Stanley, for
He
those
was-
of you who don't know, Stanley's a little mushroom
yeah.
being.
Oh, mushrooms are the
Yeah.
best.
And he creeped me out when I first saw him. He was like, I thought he was turning to The Last of Us, but he's a mushroom man. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of like a try-hard Supergiant game in terms of its writing, which is completely unfair because they are very good at writing in their games, and as I say, the writing's still good. I'm actually quite pleased I'm not like emotionally involved until like some of the last dialogue. It is just like, oh yeah, then the music's playing this very like sweet saccharine music. It's like, yeah, this is where you'd be tugging at my heartstrings, but I'm just glad those heartstrings aren't getting tugged, because it's like, that's happened enough this year. But
Yeah.
something like that, so like supernatural and like ethereal and whimsical. I think I got much better writing in the likes of like Kentucky Route Zero,
Okay.
and that hit way harder and way more successfully for me. This game is not beating you over the head with sadness. They honestly, like, probably on a product page explain it as like it's lighthearted. It's whimsical. It's a romp, but yeah, I'm not gelling with that as much as I thought I would. But as I say, it's not a bad thing because we've done enough crying in the year 2020.
That's
So
true.
I don't need that.
That
I'm
is
desensitized
an
towards
understatement.
society's ills.
Yeah.
I need animals to help me.
But yeah, when I first, I've been looking at this game for quite some time now, and the fact that it came onto Game Pass is great. But when I knew it was like, oh, this is the direction you're going in, it's more resource management rather than like adventure game platformer, which I'd more vibe with. So I was like, don't want to play it. Am I going to vibe with this as much as I thought I would? But it's the resource management which has got me,
Interesting.
hooked. I loved talking to you, but I'd rather be playing Spiritfarer.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. There is, I mean, you're saying about the platforming, there's an element of platforming to it. So Stella does upgrade as she traverses around the world. So she can kind of like then double jump, she can glide. There's certain things that you can kind of unlock with the more people that you invite onto your boat. And in the later sort of stages, there are islands that you go to which require you to do quite a reasonable amount of platforming. Which are enjoyable. You know, the platform has never been kind of frustrating. It's very easy to kind of get to grips to. I'm playing it on PC, so I'm using a keyboard to be able to do a lot of the stuff. And I know, Luce, I know.
Oh, the controller, man.
No,
what
mate,
are you doing?
don't even need it. Don't need it because it's so easy.
It's easy on this game, but what are you doing? Sort your life out, mate.
Mate, the times I'm getting to play it is when the little one is watching PlayStation, so I can't take the pad. She's using it.
Okay.
But
they never came up with a silly remote control for the PS4 like they did the PS3.
Oh, they definitely.
Remember that? The Blu-ray remote?
I wonder whether they have. It's so gone under the radar that no one knows it exists, but it does exist.
I actually I have a PS3 Blu-ray remote in the drawer right there.
I have a PS2 one.
Fucking hell.
But
DVD remote. Jeez.
Oh, man. Now I'm super curious if there was a PS4
You have a look.
remote.
You have a look. And we'll finish Spiritfarer there. Because neither of us have finished it quite yet. So we'll see how that...
I think I'm probably on the same part as you, which is funny considering that I only into...
Mate,
I've put in a lot of hours in the last 2 days.
I've been getting this game in like a little hour here, little half an hour there.
I couldn't. No. How do you control your addiction like that?
It's hard.
No.
It's very, very hard. We will, once Aadil has researched and he knows whether it's it, we will move on to
There
your
definitely
topic
has
this week.
been.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lucy, then, what do you want to chat about this week? Whilst you're frozen and broken up and all over the place.
Yep.
No, just frozen now.
Yep.
She's not going to get to talk about Tony Hawk's, is she? That's the whole reason I'm here.
Sorry, mate.
Oh no, she's gone.
I used so much of our time talking about Xbox. Well, I came up with a topic that we talked about for more than 4 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like I'm paying attention. Now she's gonna come back and it's gonna be like, oh yeah, we have 20 seconds, 7 seconds left on the ad break Aadil decided to run, and then Lucy's gonna be completely okay. And in like 20 seconds, it's gonna.
She's gonna die.
Yeah.
Am I back?
Welcome back.
You are back. Hey, yeah.
Okay.
The next ad is for PlayStation.
Oh, it should be 10 seconds to finished. So.
There's one more ad. One more ad.
5.
Amazon original.
3,
Jason Bourne. Jason Bourne.
So, because of the Twitch delay, I
Yes.
think we're back from break. The ad break is over. So,
Lucy's
welcome back,
returned.
Lucy.
Lucy. Oh,
I almost
no.
spewed. You frozen, and it's exactly what we said. And I took the sip, and then I looked up, and Lucy was frozen, and I almost spat everywhere.
She has frozen
Fuck.
again. Fully frozen again.
Yep. We might have to tag her in for goodbyes when she gets back.
Maybe. We've got to talk about our beers still. Even if we don't get to Lucy's topic this week, I'm sure she'll...
That's
have
what I mean.
something,
Tag her in for, hey,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
beer
yeah.
did you like? Rather than trying to struggle with
Sure.
a really broken conversation on her topic. And then maybe later tomorrow we might be able to talk about something. Maybe, I don't know. I got nothing. Ha! And this just in from Lucy. Tony Hawk, real good. Wrap up if you need to.
I'm glad that came through on the Twitch chat rather than anywhere else. Lucy, we still need to know what beer that you enjoyed. Why don't we start wrapping up? As Lucy is a constant set of spinny circles, or spinny squares, in fact, on the Discord. Aadil, we'll come to you first.
Oh, noes. I think, so one thing I will say is that acridness I got used to. And so, like, I haven't finished the beers because I actually, that thing that was sort of bothering me on the Evil Twin. I got used to, and so it stopped being a thing. Stopped being a thing that was a detriment. I still think I'm going to give it to the Bel Air Sour just because it did that really interesting, hey, this is strong, this is a sour, it's exactly what you want from a sour, but also it's not lingering, so you can kind of take it at your own pace. So, yeah, I think it's the Brooklyn Bel Air Sour, but I will say that the one thing that was not... I wasn't super chuffed about on the Evil Twin ended up disappearing after about a third of the way through the can, and so it's also quite good as a nice sort of roast forward with a little bit of sweetness stout. But yeah, it's the Bel Air Sour by Brooklyn.
Oh, nice. Okay. Looking forward to both of those beers. Actually, so yeah. Good to know. Maybe I'll drink them in succession as well. I'm gonna have them on the same evening so I can experience.
And you'll be like, Aadil was totally wrong. Fuck that guy.
Perhaps. For me, this week it is the Left-Handed Giant. Again, I haven't finished it yet. I haven't been reaching for it. I've just been enjoying this beer. It hasn't got me grabbing for it because I need to quench that thirst, to quench that taste. It's very, very easy. It's so nice. That maltiness kind of, as the more I drank it, that kind of toffee note did give way to a little bit more fruit. So there was a little bit more kind of danker, slightly stewed fruits going on in there, which kind of opened up the more that I drank it. But that kind of that malty toffee note kind of still resided over everything, leading into that nice piney kind of finish. The collaboration from Siren, North, and Salt was nice. It's a really easy beer, very, very, very quick to drink as well. And I think kind of as a supermarket IPA is very reasonable. I don't think it would be as good as the individual IPAs that it tests, that it is taken from. You know, if you went to Siren's, what does it say, flagship or core range? Flagship. Our flagship IPAs. I don't think if you went to Siren or North or Salt to their flagship IPAs, this would be as good. I don't think it would stand up against those. But having not tried them this evening and not having them to memory, I can't actually say that that is true or not. But that's what I think, at least. But for this evening, yes, the double IPA, Fossil and Fern from Left-Handed Giant, is just really good. It's just excellent. It's just a really good beer. So easy and so easy. Yes, you do get a bit of alcohol burn, but 8.2% is not what you would expect from this beer. It is just too good. To finish this evening, Lucy has chimed in saying that Party Animals, which was the Crak and Lervig collaboration beer, was her favourite for the evening. Which
surprises no one.
No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. From the first moment that she started talking about it, we knew it was going to be the favourite beer for the evening. Oh, she might actually be back. Hang on.
Mary.
Yeah.
Hail Mary.
She's back.
Hey, welcome back. All right, tell us about Party Animals.
I just said the Crack.
Yes, the party Animals really did. Bye.
Amazing.
That was my favourite.
Perfect. Lucy,
yes,
if people want to talk to you about beers and stuff, where do they do so? Oh,
she's totally frozen again. This is amazing. You have to keep
again.
at least chunks of this frozen talk in for the podcast.
Absolutely.
Maybe not all of the hemming and hawing, but yeah.
This last bit's staying in.
I was
Lucy
like, yeah, this part too.
If she'd have been able to answer, she'd have said, in her very smiley face there,
I was going to say, it's quite a good... It's like a...
Oh, there, yeah!
Oh, God, that's amazing!
That's even better. She's Juicy Loose 9.
The thumbnail is that us smiling right now and that...
I've got to work out a way to thumbnail this image.
I hit print screen.
Lucy
smile.
is Juicy.
I can send it to you. Yeah, we're good.
Lucy is Juicy Lucy 9. We, as a podcast, are Tanked Up Cast on Twitter, on Instagram. We haven't posted for months on either of those things because we've been busy, life's been hard, stuff's been shit. Other voices have needed to be amplified, and we've kind of done so with retweets and stuff like that, and left our own fucking bullshit to the side. But, I mean, we might start posting stuff again. Society and life hasn't seemed to have got any easier for anybody, really, has it? So we'll see. Who knows? But Tanked Up Cast on those sorts of things. I'm at Nova_47 on PlayStation, on Steam, on Twitter, on Instagram as well. If you'd like to see more of my kitchen, I don't know whether I've actually posted any pictures of my kitchen on there, but I'll do one in a minute just to help that. Aadil, if people want to talk to you, how do they do so?
You can reach me at the Omniarch on all of the things except Twitch, where I am the _Omniarch, and I got some weird ideas about what I might stream, and they're not necessarily video game related.
Oh,
so we'll see how that goes in the coming weeks.
What are we going to do? Monday, Tuesday lunchtimes, roughly?
I mean, that'll be on the Out of Lives. I mean, on my weird Twitch channel.
Oh, okay.
Monday, Tuesdays, we're fairly regular now on Out of Lives Network Twitch, where we also do the Tuesday night recording of this lovely show. But yeah, we're trying to figure out, but it's probably like something like more chatter on Mondays and more backseat gaming with two people on Tuesdays, roughly. A couple hours, 12:30 onwards.
Nice.
Again, details to follow. Pay attention to our Twitters.
It's an evolving thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm at the Omniarch, TAGOMNIARCH.
Nice. And you can go to outoflives.net or search for Out of Lives Network, either on Twitch, where you may be watching us now, or on YouTube, where you may be watching us later.
Right now.
Right now.
Actually,
yes, right now, yes. Or seeing some of the other things that other people produce and put up on our channels. Yes, or go to outoflives.net because there's constant stuff going up on there. There are various articles, various videos, different things are happening. Support the people that we are affiliated with. And Adam, who was a guest last week, has been playing some more Hard Space Shipbreakers with absolutely disastrous results. He's so shit at that game. It is hilarious. What a way to finish this week. We've been, Aadil and I have been slightly tanked up. Lucy's absolutely fucking gone. So, bye.
She's literally just flattened the internet for herself.
See ya.
Bye.
www.outoflives.net